Royal protocol is like playing nuclear chess with your family. In a scene fit for Hollywood, Princess Anne set up a secret royal summit that could break tradition. Tensions had been building behind closed doors, and now at Sandringham, royals were holding their breath as they whispered about who would be crowned the next king or queen. Princess Royal, and how would Meghan react to being dramatically sidelined? Join us to find out what news Princess Anne and Charlotte told Meghan that shocked the UK. In a far more important meeting at Sandringham House, where royal secrets had been passed down for generations, Princess Anne made a choice that would have a lasting impact on the British royal family. Even though Prince William and Catherine were there for a normal get-together, they had no idea that Princess Anne was about to say something that would change everything. As usual, Princess Anne spoke with calm authority. Her words weighed heavy with years of royal duty. She thought about her role as the Princess Royal, a title that had been around since 1642 and meant a lifetime of service to the crown and the country. She told the room. The moment she gave the prestigious title to Princess Charlotte, the 9-year-old daughter of Prince William and Catherine, was one that no one would forget. Charlotte sat next to her mother and carefully listened. When Anne was done, the young princess was said to have smiled and given a polite courtesy to show that she understood how important the moment was. This wasn't just a title change, it was a strategic move that showed how the monarchy was changing. Anne explained that the title of Princess Charlotte royal title isn't automatically passed down. The current monarch has to grant it, and once granted, it lasts a lifetime. Charlotte wasn't picked at random. She saw something special in her great niece. The young princess had already shown great poise and maturity in public, especially during Queen Elizabeth's funeral, where she handled herself with great dignity. Not everyone was happy with the decision. Meghan Markle was reportedly emotional. Sources say she was seen wiping away tears. Prince Harry noticed the tension and tried to calm her down. When Meghan questioned Anne's choice, the princess didn't hesitate to explain that the title needed someone close to the crown and deeply committed to serving the United Kingdom. It wasn't about personal feelings, it was about stability and practicality. Anne's choice of Charlotte was also part of a bigger plan. By picking a young woman who was clearly in line to become queen, she helped secure the monarchy's future. Charlotte represented a new generation that was rooted in tradition but ready to change things. A lot of people were surprised by the decision. Lady Louise Windsor, daughter of Prince Edward, was not chosen, and Lily Diana, daughter of Harry and Meghan, wasn't even considered. Anne agreed to help Charlotte get ready for the official confirmation of her title in the coming years. It was a smart move to make sure that the royal legacy would continue without any problems. How did the tradition of the Princess Royal begin? What long, forgotten royal secrets and scandals shaped this title that has been around for so long? Legacy of traditional origins. Before smartphones, social media, and instant messaging, royal families had strict ways of keeping track of their lineage. The Princess Royal title was like being a member of an exclusive club with strict rules. To understand its origins, you have to go back to 1642, when England was very different. King Charles I wasn't just ruling, he was also leaving a legacy that would last for hundreds of years by creating the Princess Royal title. This wasn't a random choice. He got the idea from the French royal court, where the king's oldest daughter was given the title Madame Royale. Inspired by its prestige, Charles brought the idea to Britain and made it a royal tradition. But the title wasn't a birthright. It wasn't given to every princess. It was more like an honor that the monarch personally bestowed. It was like a royal scholarship that only a few could receive. In almost 400 years, only 7 have been given it. Fewer women have held this title than have walked on the moon. It wasn't just a fancy title, it came with real responsibility. There were strict rules about who could hold it. The title didn't always go to the eldest daughter, and sometimes it skipped generations. If the monarch didn't think someone was right for the job, they weren't given it. It was like interviewing for a job for life with no guarantee of getting the job. For years, royal historians and experts have argued about whether or not it was real. Some see it as a tradition, while others think it shows true devotion to royal duty. What does it take to become a princess royal? It's not just about wearing a tiara. The job requires respect, grace, and a strong desire to serve the public. Since 1987, Princess Anne, the current Princess Royal, has been the perfect example of what this title means. She has served the royal family with dedication, hard work, and grace. This title comes with more than just official duties. It's about being the Princess Royal is a strong representative of the monarchy who interacts with the public and finds the right balance between being seen and protecting the royal family's privacy. Despite all the changes in British society, the title has stayed the same. It has been worn through the Industrial Revolution, world wars, the rise of television, and the digital age. Each Princess Royal has left her own mark on the role. Some have focused on diplomacy, others on sports, or others on important causes. The role has never been just about wearing a crown, it has always been about making a real difference. Princess Charlotte is expected to take on the title one day, so the tradition looks like it will live on. The Princess Royal changed the meaning of royal princess, from a centuries-old title to one that meant hard work and dedication. On August 15, 1950, a baby girl was born who would change what it meant to be a royal princess. Her name was Elizabeth Alice Louise, and she was the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth Roman II and Prince Philip. From the start, she stood out. Growing up in the royal family was hard in the 1950s and 1960s. Britain was going through big changes, and the monarchy was struggling to stay relevant in a world that was changing quickly. Anne was in the middle of all of this, and she wasn't like most princesses. She wasn't interested in a life of glitz and grand events. She was determined to work, and her parents saw something special in her independence, resilience, and work ethic. Even as a child, Anne threw herself into her royal duties. She wasn't just a princess while most teenagers were busy with friends and social life. She was right next to her parents learning how to be a good citizen. Her love of sports, especially horseback riding, made her stand out. She wasn't just a royale who liked riding horses. She was a skilled equestrian who competed at a professional level and even represented Great Britain in international events. By the time she was officially named Princess Royal in 1987, she had already made a name for herself. Charity work took place on 6 continents, helping with everything from medical research to children's welfare. In 2022, Anne completed more than 200 official engagements, more than any other senior royal. While others chose to slow down, she worked harder. Her approach to royal service was clear and practical, no speeches or distractions, just hard work. She became known for being efficient, earning praise from military personnel, charity workers, and others. As the monarchy changed, Anne's role was complicated. She knew that traditions had to be respected, but she also knew that the family had to adapt to modern times. Finding the right balance between the two was not easy, but she did it with incredible skill. King Charles Roman III's plan for a smaller, more efficient royal family was a perfect fit for her, and she had been working toward this goal for decades before it became official. But Anne's work was never just about duty. She brought warmth and sincerity to everyone she met. It wasn't just for the cameras when she went to hospitals, schools, and military bases. She made real connections with people. From competing in equestrian sports at the Olympic level to supporting charities around the world, from questioning old royal traditions to becoming a symbol of selfless service, she changed what it meant to be a modern royal. May your success continue to grow and lead to bigger and better wins, like an Olympic gold medal, but who knows? While most 9-year-old girls are busy with school and playground fun, Princess Charlotte is quietly stepping into the world of royal duty. Her future isn't just about wearing a tiara, it's about learning what it means to serve her parents. Prince William and Catherine are raising her with a mix of tradition and everyday life because they want her to understand her royal duties while staying grounded. Their goal is simple: teach Charlotte to be both a princess and a person. At Windsor Castle, Charlotte suggested adding a children's storytelling corner to a family meeting where senior royals were planning a charity event. It was a small suggestion, but it showed Charlotte's creativity and natural sense of engagement. Princess Anne noticed, and she saw something special in her young great-niece Charlotte. Not just charm, but intelligence, curiosity, and a rare ability to read a room. During Queen Elizabeth's funeral, Charlotte's calmness stood out while other children might have been upset. She calmly told her brother George what the monarch's crown meant. It was a quiet moment that showed how much she understood. William and Catherine have thought about Charlotte's upbringing. Their home isn't just a palace, it's a place of learning. Charlotte's afternoons are filled with baking, gardening, and outdoor adventures. These aren't just hobbies. They're lessons in creativity, responsibility, and connection. Charlotte's education goes beyond school. She's learning about giving back through hands. On activities like helping with local food drives, is important to her parents because they want her to understand that privilege comes with responsibility. Her public appearances at events like Trooping the Color Show that she's more than just a pretty face. Her confidence and knowledge of royal traditions suggest that she's learning things that most adults would find hard to master behind the scenes. Princess Anne is mentoring Charlotte and teaching her the art of people. Have said that Charlotte and Anne look and act a lot alike. Charlotte has a directness, a sharp wit, and a quiet confidence that many people associate with her great-aunt Anne. The royal family is changing because King Charles Roman III wants a smaller, more efficient monarchy. This means that fewer royals will work, but they will have bigger, more important roles. Charlotte represents this shift toward substance over spectacle. Quality over her future isn't just about being a princess. It's about becoming a leader, a communicator, and an important part of an institution that is always changing. She's learning how to balance tradition with the modern world. William and Catherine aren't just raising a royal, they're shaping a future leader who knows that true service is more important than status. Who else is waiting in the wings for their chance to shine? Could other young royals stand out and change the direction Charlotte seems to be going? The race for royal titles isn't like a simple game where everyone gets a turn. It's more like a complex puzzle where every piece has to fit just right and not everyone gets a spot in the final picture. Lady Louise Windsor has stayed out of the spotlight, but that doesn't mean she isn't a strong contender. She is the daughter of Prince Edward and Sophie, and she doesn't look like a glamorous Hollywood princess. Instead, she carries herself with quiet elegance and has a striking face. Louise looks a lot like her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth Roman II. Horses are more than just a hobby for her, they're part of her family's history. At the Windsor Horse Show, she remembered her late grandfather, Prince Philip, by driving a carriage that he used to own. It was a small thing, but it showed how much she values tradition and legacy. Unlike some young royals who love the spotlight, Louise likes to keep things low-key. She's known for being kind and quiet, which makes many people think of the late Queen. Another interesting person when talking about royal titles is Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, whose name comes from a nickname Queen Elizabeth used as a child and the name of her grandmother, Princess Diana. Lilibet is a unique mix of royal tradition and modern family ties, but her parents, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, have chosen a life away from the royal bubble. They live in California, far from the traditions, and it's not clear what will happen with Libet's royal future because of the physical and emotional distance between them. Harry and Meghan have said they want their kids to stay connected to their royal heritage, but they also want a different kind of upbringing for Archie and Liliette, one that doesn't come with the weight of royal expectations. The royal family's changing structure adds another layer of uncertainty. King Charles Roman III has focused on making the family smaller and more streamlined. There is a debate going on in royal circles about where Lilian might fit in now that only close family members have official roles. Some believe that family ties should be kept strong, while others say that practical matters of royal duty should come first. Even Lilith's name has meaning. It was chosen to honor both Queen Elizabeth and Princess Diana. It's a link to the past. However, having a meaningful name doesn't guarantee Louise and Lilian a royal title or role. Louise and Lilith's future is still uncertain. Will they play bigger roles in the monarchy, or will they forge their own paths outside of royal traditions? The royal family has always changed with the times, from Queen Elizabeth's reign to King Charles Roman III's vision. The stories of Louise and Lilith are just the newest examples of this. But what dark family secrets lie beneath the royal family's smooth exterior? Could the problems between Harry, Meghan, and the rest of the royals tear the monarchy apart? The British royal family always looks perfect in pictures, with perfectly coordinated outfits, waves, and smiles. But behind those carefully managed pictures is a deep family split that could rival any dramatic soap opera. The breaking point came in 2020 when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a decision that shook the foundations of the monarchy. They quit their royal duties. Moving to California wasn't just about changing locations. It was a choice to break free from an institution that had defined them. Harry, who was born into one of the most traditional families in the world, was going in a different direction. Meghan's experience added another layer to the story. As someone who married into royalty from the outside, she saw things differently. Her point of view shed light on problems in the royal system that had been ignored for generations. Their interview with Oprah Winfrey shocked people all over the world. They talked about racism, mental health problems, and not feeling supported by the royal institution. There were serious claims that went against the monarchy's carefully guarded image. At the same time, people were talking about how he wouldn't get security or a title, and how dark his skin might be when he was born. For Harry and Meghan, this was personal. They wanted a different life for their children Archie and Lilibet. They wanted a life where being a royal didn't mean constant public scrutiny. King Charles Roman III faced a unique situation. He tried to find a balance between tradition and the realities of a changing world by focusing on key family members in the direct line of succession. This meant that Harry, Meghan, and their children were pushed to the edges of the royal circle. They were told in a polite but clear way that they were no longer at the center of the royal story. Harry and Meghan wanted to be understood and recognized, but the royal institution put stability and tradition first. So their children became Archie and Lilibet were a symbol of these tensions because they were a new type of mixed race royal child born on two continents. They were questioning the old royal stories and wanting to be a part of the monarchy's future. Instead of private conversations, there were public statements, interviews, and legal battles. Both sides felt misunderstood and right, and the royal family's response was to stay calm, say little, and protect the monarchy. Harry and Meghan felt rejected by the royal family's silence, but they kept working on their own projects. They started charities, got media deals, and shaped their own story. But they stayed away from them, and it was clear that it was hard on them emotionally. The royal family has been through a lot of problems, but this one feels different. It's not just about tradition or protocol. It's about family understanding and respect. The story isn't over, and no one is happy about it. Who knows how it will end? Will Princess Charlotte follow royal traditions or become the most important princess royal in history? Will the Windsor family be able to get along again, Or will Harry and Meghan's departure change the future of the monarchy for good? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.